5th March, Friday. Grace 17. Rejection, the best way of knowing God. Dear friends in Christ Jesus, we all long to be included, to feel belong, and would love to enjoy favor in life. The world has its ways of playing favorites, prioritizing stereotypes, taking unfair sides, cheating, taking advantage, and secretly scheming against an individual for selfish gain. Most of us will experience rejection from family, friends, and colleagues at certain point in our life and perhaps feel miserable about it. Today, in the readings, we focus on one of the most difficult experiences of human life, rejection. We ponder on the rejection of Joseph by his family members and of Jesus by his creatures. It is an occasion for us to ponder that many times in our lives we too had been rejected, especially those occasions that may sting the most. But in response to the terrible rejection of Joseph and Jesus, the responsorial psalm proclaimed today repeatedly, "Remember the marvels the Lord has done." In the Gospel, Jesus, citing Psalm 118, says, "The stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone." Dear friends, we read in the story when Prophet Samuel went to anoint the next king of Israel by God's instruction. Samuel traveled to Bethlehem to the house of Jesse. He knew where to go and what family the king would come from. He knew the next king would be one of Jesse's sons. He just did not know which son. Samuel arrived in Bethlehem and asked Jesse to bring all of his sons out for his inspection. Jesse brought out each of his 7 sons, one by one. As Samuel prayerfully approached each young man, God said, "No, that is not the one. No, that is not the one. No, that is not the one." 7 times, God refused Jesse's sons. Finally, frustrated and confused, Samuel asked, "Are these all the sons you have?" "Oh, yeah, I do have one more son," Jesse said. "I almost forgot all about him. Little David is out taking care of the sheep. I will send someone to get him." Dear friends, David was so insignificant to his own father that when the prophet requested an audience with all of his boys, and his dad did not even think to invite him. However, he was the very one God had selected to be the next ruler of his chosen people. How exciting! You may have felt overlooked, disregarded, and ignored, but God has chosen you. 1 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 9 we read, "No eyes has seen, no ears has heard, no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love him." All the stories we read above shows us that God's way are different, and he can choose the non-favored, rejected ones for a very special purpose in his master plan. It is so reassuring to simply rest in him and feel comforted that even when the world may reject us, we are still chosen by God. Rejection, the best way of knowing God, is the grace that we have for today. When we are rejected by people, there is someone who always accepts us. In that acceptance, we get to know God, who always stands by us, especially when we are rejected by all. Action of the day: think of the moments where you were rejected by the people and today try to forgive them. Remember that when you leave this earth, you can take with you nothing that you have received, only what you have given: a full heart, enriched by honest service, love, sacrifice, and courage, says St. Francis of Assisi. Have a graceful day, dear friends.